Greetings and welcome to Matrix Revealed Presentation 6. Now, what is happening at the moment is part of this almost panic reaction from the dark side. But in doing so, they are also giving us pointers in the way we should be responding to this. Some of the YouTube channels have a lot of subscribers, and in doing so, although the quality of the presentations are fantastic, it is also making the people that are on those channels targets, and knowing how devious this corrupt system is, they will single them out. I've said before that this needs to be a Spartacus effect, but also it is a valuable lesson in all that happens that we can actually help each other. Now, this can take many forms. Firstly, I am going to ask or put out an appeal for anybody who can financially help to help Martin Liedker, who is facing being made homeless. Such is the opposition he has had and death threats on numerous occasions to the truth that he is putting out. And once again, I am going to advertise his book because he has had a lot of trouble, and also the publishers, Bewley Books, have had their computer hacked to try and stop this book coming out. The Holy Grail of the Flat Earth. I will put the links in the description for this. And we're probably going to find this is going to happen to other channels. People will be targeted. There is such a thing as targeted individuals anyway. But it is also a wake-up call for us to help each other, because if we don't help each other, nobody else will. There is all kinds of speculation on whether there are various entities that look human that are not. Well, I would say yes, that is very much the case, and they do operate. Some of them are not necessarily good or bad, but they are indifferent to the fate of humanity. The only saviour of humanity is going to be humanity, and all the indications are and always have been that we pull together. It's the first time I've actually asked or put out an appeal in this fashion, and I think it is important. But we can also help each other in other ways, spiritually, by sending out energy to help each other. Things will have a way of coming when you most need them. I have experienced this when I was at my most financially insecure. I found a £1 coin laying on the ground, and that made a huge difference. It doesn't sound a lot, but it came when I most needed it, and this is the way it works. You will not get a massive lottery win because that is fake money and it is not the way forward. But we do get rewards on this spiritual path, but they are not the rewards in the three-dimensional. But in the three-dimensional, we will not come to any real harm unless we invite it upon ourselves. I did say in presentation number 4 that I would talk more about magnetics and then forgot to do so. So I will come back to that now, because this ties in about know thyself. Because we are energy and we are magnets, so we do draw towards us the energy that we send out. So if we have not healed ourselves, then we are sending out an energy that is not the best that we could. So we will draw that same energy towards us. It works exactly like a magnet does in the physical sense. This is in the energy sense. Everything is a magnetic frequency. That is where all the answers to everything comes from. We're on an earth that is a magnetic field. It is also encoded in words like Magdalene and magnetic. and many more, which have escaped me at the moment. But you get it in everyday terms, like a magnetic personality and those that can draw. But the magnets can work in the wrong way as well. Sometimes the person in the 3D world that is the most magnetic is also the most shallow. The cool guy in the nightclub, for example, that all the girls are flocking round, often the bad boy image. But we're talking in the spiritual here and the true path, not the superficial or the shallow path. But it is a valuable lesson that we all need to do all we can to help each other. I know financial resources are limited for a lot of you, and a lot of you are facing financial hardship. But it is down to us helping each other, and we do, I think, have to make some sacrifices to help each other out, because we are stronger together. So please try and find it in yourselves to help Martin if you can. We're in a very foot in two worlds. A lot of you are still in this, well, we're all really in this debt slave system. But we can also draw something out of that we can help others to find a way out of it. And it's only by coming together that we can do this. Collectively, we are far stronger. If we were, for example, to pull all our resources together and then spread them out evenly, we could achieve a lot more. I'm not saying that we should all sort of have like open bank accounts to each other, but there is definitely something in looking at this and how to go forward, because with each step that the dark side makes, we need to have an equal and opposite reaction with the resources that we've got. On the purely financial terms, we have absolutely no chance, but we cannot give in to fear, and we can actually change things round in other ways. We have far more power than they tell us. This is why we are attacked in so many ways right from the moment of birth. And if you think about all the things that you are subjected to and that you are still here today, that is a miracle in itself. You may well be going through a period of going within yourself. This seems to be a common thread at the moment with this new moon and all these different phases that are going on, and the significance of the end of this year. The spiritual energy is really starting to surge with a lot of you, and you are going to feel it if you're on this spiritual path in one form or another. So brace yourself for what is about to happen, because there are things just around the corner that are going to affect many, and you will see a shift coming, not only within the good versus bad aspect of it, but it is just like the tree of life, where you have, it's basically your spine, and there are many branches coming off of it. And even within the spiritual and the truth-seeking side, it is like I'm trying to think of the name of it, the running where you're jumping over the hurdles, and some are going to fall, they're going to succumb to ego, or they're going to go deep into one rabbit hole and not be able to come back out of it again. We can only guide, if you're already on this spiritual path, then you need to be aware, not just preach, but to also practice as well, because it will take many. It is the way this thing is designed, but it is not even about intellect, it is about knowledge. And if you look at that word, it is no ledge, no fear of falling, because do you really want to fall any further than we already have? We have a chance to pick ourselves up and turn this around, but it is down to every individual to use their discernment and use their intuition. decide for yourselves what you think is right and what you think is wrong. There is lots of speculation on what and who is the controlled opposition in all this. I would also keep in mind that some of them have basically been put on a pedestal, particularly by having many subscribers, and they have been, shall we say, turned through emotional blackmail and fear, and they are in a very precarious situation. So it's not as clear cut as just saying this person is controlled opposition. Their actions will reveal themselves anyway. The controllers don't like certain things being talked about, and obviously there's all this speculation on what is going to happen with all the YouTube channels. Well, it might be a Titanic approach, but it's a case of carry on until something happens, because we can all create imaginary scenarios in our head of and worry and put energy into what may or may not happen. At the end of the day, YouTube is not a public service. Not that public services are for our benefit anyway, but it is totally owned by Google. It is a business, and they can pull the plug, and it's quite evident from their responses that other people have been getting that they're basically saying they can do what they want when they want, and there's nothing we can do about it. So is there any point in wasting energy on worrying about what may or may not happen? It is up to us to go within ourselves, inside ourselves, and be more inventive and look for other means and other ways. There is always a solution out of these things, even if it comes down to sending out emails to each other, or various other methods. It's a case of putting our thinking caps on. I can't give you all the answers. I can't come up with all the answers, but all I can do is plant seeds. And this is the thing we all have. We have creativeness. If we can create fear in our mind, we can also create positive outcomes to things. See, there is always two sides to everything. So we have to respond to what is happening to us, and where one of us is being targeted, that's where we need to rally round and help each other. So I'm asking you to just consider this. You know, hopefully, from how you feel and the energy that resonates from other people, and by the actions and by the messages they're putting out, whether you can trust in them. Obviously, you need to trust in yourself first and do the inner work on yourself first. But there are other people out there all in the same position, and we're all trying to help each other. This is what it is all about. It is the collective consciousness. Now we need to bring that collective consciousness mindset into this reality and actually start helping each other in any way we possibly can. I mean, consider yourself, if you were made homeless tomorrow, where would you turn? If we have a network that can help each other, then all the better. It doesn't matter about equality in this. There are always going to be some who are in a better position. They may have been gone through worse experiences, but in this 3D world they are financially more stable for various reasons. It's all swings and roundabouts. We just have to look at ways of being inventive and finding a way forward and helping each other. This is the most important thing with all of this. This is the coming together. In the light side aspect, not the dark side of the physical 2 into 1. This is the 2 into 1 in the spiritual side, and we can also do this in the mind side of things in this reality and actually help each other. I have so far been very fortunate that I've not had to even look towards monetizing this channel, which I think they would probably look at shutting down if I did. But they can also play the card of it's not financially viable, that I've not got advertisers on this channel. So they could pull the plug on this at any time. So I've put the link to my Facebook on presentation number 4 in the description for you to find the details there. I may add it into this one as well again. Check the links below. Anyway, I think I've talked enough. This is the 3rd video today, but I think it is an important message that we learn from the way we're being attacked, and then how we respond to it, and collectively we are stronger. That is shown in the Disney Pixar Bugs Life. The answer is right there in that one. The crazy ant who did actually have the answers and was telling the truth, once all the other ants had rallied round and stood together as one in a line. This is the thing, the dark side feed on fear, and they generate fear in so many ways. Even on social media, it is getting almost like mainstream television, and there is a lot of fake news put on there which is worth just scrolling by and just ignoring. Don't give any energy to it whatsoever. It doesn't matter what politician did or said, because they're all actors and actresses on this stage anyway. But we are also actors and actresses, and we can choose to play a much greater role in the ultimate blockbuster. But like any job, you've got to put the work in first before we all get paid. So we've all got to play our part in any way we can and help each other. That is the most important thing. So thank you very much for listening, and there will be another video sometime very soon. Ideas are always sort of churning over, as it were, and there is various topics to look at and talk about, and a good chance to promote other channels as well, because that's another thing we need to do, is all promote each other's channels, because there are some very good channels out there with very few subscribers, and they're very easy to miss because they're not going to be advertised, partly because of the numbers, and obviously the algorithms of, they don't really want the information coming out to a wider audience. But as we come across these channels with these wonderful messages, then do share them out, because sharing is caring. Thank you very much.